What is up? What is up, everybody? This is Mike, and this is another Wrestling Babble podcast by Wrestling Inc. I'm Mike. I'm joined by my tag partner, Louis Beans.
What is up? What is up?
And today we have AEW Revolution to cover. We'll give you our highlights and some podcasts to listen to. But first, we have our wrestling retrospect, and we picked John Cena, or Juan Cena, to the Luchadors. They don't know it's him, though. So my pick was John Cena. One thing I want to highlight, it was probably my favorite run of John Cena was probably the U.S. Championship, his second U.S. title when he was doing the Open Challenges. So he had the likes of matches with the who's who. He had Big E, he had Neville, he had Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Stardust, Big E. There's a lot of who matches that he did throughout Cesaro. So those are something like that. So the first match I'm picking, seeing that WrestleMania is coming up and his opponent is this man, I'm gonna go with Stardust versus John Cena for the U.S. title. This was April 6th, 2015. Again, this is the John Cena United States Championship Open Challenge. Stardust is the one that took the match. The week before that, I think Dustin came out, or Goldust came out and challenged him as well. But Stardust took the challenge, and then I think the next week after, you see Goldust versus John Cena for the U.S. title. Um, Very fun match. I actually liked it. The Stardust character, I thought he was portrayed pretty good, but he's had his silliness. I wish he kind of went full fledged heel the way he wanted to go, but I think it didn't work out the way he wanted. Well, the way they wanted him to do it, it wasn't that great. But this match was great. So John Cena catches him with a springboard stunner and then catches him with an AA and finishes the match. But it was a really good offensive match. There's some of the stuff that he still does now that you probably see in this WrestleMania match. But it was a good to see their, well, it's not their first match, but their match during their time in WWE.
The first match I have is John Cena versus Braun Strowman. That is 2017, September 11th. Uh,
For America.
I think this is before the pay-per-view where he fought Brock Lesnar and Kane.
Okay.
Um, I do not believe this is Cena had came back
Yeah.
for like a small tour. It was like just wrestling with a bunch of different people. Uh, this was more of a showcase of Strowman because he was just pretty much unstoppable. He got a few, Cena got a few things in here. You know, he got him to run into the post and whatnot. He did lift him up, and then like I do like though. Again, this is what Braun Strowman needs to go back to. Was just like he got down for like a second,
Yeah.
and he caught him right back with a spine buster, and I was like, "This, where's my Braun Strowman of 2017, the
He
monster?"
forgot.
Roman Reigns is in the back, like nodding his head, like, "Yeah, I remember that guy. He tried to kill me." Um, and then the end of the match, he doesn't even finish the match. He gets mad, breaks the stairs apart, brings him in the ring. Well, beats him outside the ring. I think it's John Collins, the ref,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, put those down." he doesn't disqualify. He doesn't disqualify him, and then Strowman brings him in the ring, does the running power slam on him, and that's it. He just leaves him dead.
Damn.
Love it,
Yeah.
love it. So Cena wins the match, but he's dead.
Yeah. There was a few things I wanted to do, but I was like, let me go more into some of his other stuff because I was looking at the Bray Wyatt and him, and there's a big chance I did pick that on the when we did Bray Wyatt because this is the match that he just launched the chair, the staircase at him, and it fucking looked like it killed him. That was probably the match I was looking at. But my next match will be, you know what? I think I sent you it, and I gotta find it again. God damn it, where is it? I found the prototype John Cena versus Batista. The prototype Cena. I'm gonna show you right now. There he goes. Tell you where is it? Where is it? God damn it. There he goes. So this is 2/20/2002. This is the prototype John Cena with pink shorts, and he had longish hair at the time. He had like a long mohawk. Versus Leviathan, which is Dave Batista. This was in Ohio Valley Wrestling, Ohio Valley Championship Wrestling. Um, Batista looked like a demon because he had like contacts on and everything like that. This was before a lot of his tattoos too. So there you go. I think he was the OVW champion, and Prototype was fighting him. Um, it was the match itself wasn't the greatest match. This was like the wrestling 101 matchup because tie up will take about 10 minutes, and them doing the very basic moves of body slam, hip toss, arm drag. But then it goes into some brawler styles in the end, and then it goes into John Cena. Well, they both have managers. I don't know their manager's name. One is a bigger lady. The other one is some dude that looks like Jim Cornette. It's not Jim Cornette, but it looks like Jim Cornette. So they give him a Leviathan power bombs him, and then this dude comes out with some spray and a towel and wraps it around his face, and then Prototype gets the pin, and he wins the championship. A lot of shenanigans in that match. It was fun though. I think I sent it to you on Twitter.
My favorite next match is John Cena versus Big E,
That was a
United
good one.
States title match.
That was a good one.
This one is I like the beginning because you have the New Day come out and not say who's well. First of all, they drag out Dolph Ziggler's lifeless body.
Yeah.
Um, and then they keep saying uh big in the promo and walking down to the ring. I love Kofi just going, "This is a big building. This is a big city in this big city. This is a big opportunity." So obviously, it's gonna be Biggie. The match is really good. I like that this one, and I see this. I guess this is how Cena beats like people who he can't overpower. Is he has to be smarter than them because you get to see Big E not really budge, like take shoulder tackles and just like no, like just to shrug off Cena's power attempts. It's like nah, man, I'm Big E. Um, and also he has the power up of the New Day with Francesca outside the ring. Unfortunately, he also tries to cheat and use Francesca to beat Cena. That doesn't work. Cena gets him, wins the match, and then the New Day proceeds to beat his ass.
Nice.
And then the Dudley Boys try to save him. No, Ziggler tries to save him. They beat his ass. And then the Dudley Boys come out and they beat their ass. So the New Day just destroys everybody, which is great. But Cena wins the match. So there you go.
And you know what? I did pick this match before. I found the match that I wanted to pick, and this was the Last Man Standing match. This is John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, Last Man Standing. This is WWE Payback 2014. So this was like actually the beginning of those promos that he was saying that John Cena is not for the fans, he's kind of for himself, and kind of implemented that yeah, there's more to Cena than you guys see. Firefly Funhouse kind of flashed lights on that shit. If you go back to watching Firefly Funhouse, it makes so much sense now. But this match I picked because one, it was hardcore as hell, and then Cena threw the fucking steel chair, the stairs at Bray Wyatt's face, and it looked like he died. Like he threw it perfectly enough that V part lands right in his face, and it just takes him out. That whole rivalry was actually really good because that's when he had the kids singing "It's a whole world in his hand" kind of shit, and it was actually very creepy. A lot of people say, "Oh, he buried John Cena, buried Bray Wyatt through his whole rivalry," but I think they actually really did tell great stories. which also led into the Firefly Funhouse. And without those stories they told before, that would never happen. So really fun match. They had some really good matches throughout that year, but this was probably one of my favorites because that steel chair, the steel steps flying. He launched that shit from the ring outside the ring and fucking went dunk and fucking he went down. That shit looked painful. Good match, and I miss Bray Wyatt. That was actually a fun match.
My third match is my favorite John Cena match. It is RVD versus John Cena, ECW One Night Stand for the WWE title. This match is historic. In my opinion, it is one of the best matches ever. That environment will probably never be duplicated. Maybe the way he made people mad at uh, when he turned on Cody,
That'll
maybe
probably
was
be
was
him
his.
naturally getting the heat now. Before it was not natural. It was like, Jesus, people hating his ass.
Maybe it will be the kids who cried when he destroyed Cody, maybe.
Yeah,
But there has never been a reaction to a professional wrestler since I assume like the 80s and the 70s, like like this was. This was ridiculous. That small venue was perfect for this,
yeah.
and it, it was just everything was caught on camera. The guys throwing the shirts back. It was great. Uh, Also, special appearance by Edge, by Young Edge.
Yeah.
Take him out. There's a few things that you forget. That John Cena has a problem with the ECW ref, beats him up and clotheslines him. I don't vividly remember that, but it was like, damn, he clotheslined the ref, took him out. Nick Patrick came out, they booed him, and said F Nick Patrick the entire time. Uh, he goes
Goddamn
down.
little Nate.
He goes down. There was a disgusting AA counter by RVD that got countered into him getting thrown out of the ring. That was right before Edge came in. It was like there was a bunch of just like really cool moments that happened. Uh, and then to top it off, RVD does the most unnecessary angle of a frog splash. Like he's parallel to where he is. So you would think, no, don't do it that way. He does it, turns midair, catches him perfectly, and then Paul Heyman comes and counts to three, and they call him the new ECW champion, which I forgot. Like it
Yeah,
is for the WWE title, but they do not call it that. They say he is the new ECW champion, and the show goes off. I'm like, perfect,
but RVD wanted to
perfect.
keep it because it's been.
But I mean, and Taz was on the call, so they were like, "Oh, okay." Like you can hear surprise,
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of surprise in Taz's voice,
yeah.
but it was good.
Because
It
the
was
next
great.
night, I think on Monday Night Raw, like RVD was like, "Oh, I want to keep this. It spins." That was the only reason why you see him playing with it. It was dope. That was a dope moment for RVD too. And sadly, he got in trouble, and they kind of took the titles away from him and whatnot. Whatever that happened.
Hey, we ain't gotta talk about all that. It's
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
but that
RVD
match
has
was
his moment.
fantastic.
It is iconic.
Yeah, it is. Probably one of the best ECW one night stands too. That one and the first one. First one was great. You had Psychosis and Rey Mysterio fight. Psychosis. But yeah, check out a lot of John Cena has a shit ton of matches. That U.S. title reign, 100% is worth watching. Just watch every match every week. He had like the likes of probably the who's who of the main event scene now, cause he had Biggie, he had Biggie, he had well not Pac in AEW. He had Pac one was good. A Neville match that was really good. So definitely check it out. All right, we go. We could kind of shorten the weekend wrestling. We're gonna talk about AEW Revolution 2025. There's a lot to talk about there, but a lot of good stuff and a lot of eerie stuff. But we'll see. Um, we did see what happens this week, so we're gonna say that for the cast on Sunday. So there's a lot of good shit that's happening this week too. So you want to go into this pay per view, or you want to chat about what happened the week, cause of
Might as
what you
well.
remember?
Go ahead.
But all right, go to pay per view. I didn't watch any of anything off the pre-show. Did you watch any of the pre-show?
No.
I know Gravity fought Jericho and he unmasked him.
Did they show his face, or did he just unmask him to win the mask?
They showed his face for like 2 seconds and then he covered his face.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, but all right. So we kick off this pay per view with Hangman Page versus MJF.
Very, very good match. I mean, I like the aggression in the match. MJF is, if he's good at one thing, he is very good at being a piece of garbage that shows no respect to his opponents. I would have stabbed him if he ran his crotch into my face like he did to Hangman. That was terrible. A lot of really just vicious moves they did to each other,
He
like
did
that
kind of
power
get him
drive.
back though.
That power drive, yeah, he's been on and whatnot, but like that power driver to that chair was kind of, it was cool, but it just looked disgusting the way Hangman slid down after that. Like, um, and the end, MJF shenanigans is not enough to win him the match. I think it was a very, very good match. I'm gonna give it a 4. Hangman wins.
Yep. Um, I'm gonna go. I go. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the athleticism in it. The story they told was just aggressive enough, and they just wrestled their style and stuff. I just have issues when the bigger move looks better than the finish. But other than that, that was a solid match. Uh, but yeah, he landed face first in that fucking pedigree-ish move he did. So that was the receipt for the dick punch, I guess. I don't know what to call that. The thrust. I don't know. We got TBS Championship match. Momo Wadabe versus Mercedes Monet.
I thought it was a solid match. It wasn't. I'd say it wasn't as big as the last match she had because it wasn't. It just wasn't the field wasn't there because Momo's not as known. So like the crowd didn't add to it as much. But they eventually got behind her, and Monet got the absolute shit kicked out of her, which is like that's what you want to see when you fight somebody like Momo, because in Stardom she is just mean.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely one of the meaner girls there. Um, that variation of the Meteora where she like caught her from the outside, that was disgusting.
Yep.
That was cool. Um, but like I said, it just didn't reach the heights of the other matches she had, so I'm still gonna give it a 3.5.
I'm in the same realm. I'm like 3.5, 3.75. Um, I thought it was solid. Like when Momo had the offense, like her offense looks stiff. It looked good. Like again, you rushing that strong style. That's what brings it. But I was like 100% invested into this match. I tried to watch the backstory to it to get me more invested into it. I just wasn't really that much invested into it, so that probably kind of brings my score down too. But other than that, it was a defense side of the fence, and Mercedes Monet wins.
The one thing I would say about it that I think brought it down for me was that she wasn't really the same character she was in Stardom.
Yeah,
Because she's not, uh, she doesn't give a shit about the ref. Like she's she's almost not quite yet, but you can see in her where she's like today's Bull Nakano, not Bull. What's the name with the face paint? The bigger girl with the face paint.
Boom McConnell.
No, not Bull. The other lady, her rival.
Oh, Kona or something like that. Kona Khan.
Yes, the original Kong. Yeah, like the way she's just mean, and that's how she is in Stardom. She's just mean. She like, carries a bat with her and slaps people with it all the time. Like, so you didn't, and she doesn't wear gold. She wears black. Like a lot
Yeah.
of this, her presentation wasn't there. So I
Okay.
was like, is she trying to be a good guy? So it was a little off for me.
So I'm guessing that she was probably the baby face of the match, and that's why.
Yeah, I guess so.
I get it. All right. Next match. Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet.
It was good. I'm surprised it wasn't more like violent, but when you see the moves they did on each other, the vertebrae on the table, Like that's some trust.
Yeah.
Dropped me like that, and that table did not budge.
Yeah.
Like we have an adamantium table now. What's going on? Um,
The wood's mad. Got tired
it's
of
not. That is not made out of wood.
it.
That is not made out of wood. That is made out of something like solid steel or something. But I will say like they brought it in terms of just the amount of moves they did that they normally don't do. The way Ricochet, like you say, you can hear that doink, the doink sound when he
Yeah.
landed it right on his crotch when he did the what was it, the 630, I think it is called.
Yeah.
That was just
Doink, doink.
Jesus. You just
Oh.
somewhere Homer Simpson was laughing. Um, like it was mean.
Yeah.
So they were mean to each other in that match. Surprised no scissors, no bloody forehead with the scissors. Like that was the theme of the entire feud so far. And then I appreciate the Nana getting pissed off, but realizing, hey man, you know what? He stole my coat. I'm gonna take it back. Murph might have bumped into me, but I need to get that coat back. So that little bit of shenanigans, it did add to it. It didn't take away from it. So that one I'm gonna give it 4.25.
um, I'm at a four. That's because I thought honestly the chemistry was great. I'll say this was probably one of the better matches I enjoyed on this card. Um, I just expected slightly more. I expected the scissors to come out. I expected, but then again, if you go to the violence of the other matches, then like, they kind of had their hands tied because they were like, if we don't bleed all the whole, it would have made the pay per view just feel like the same match over and over again. So I get it, but from what they did,
That's
for
not their fault.
I don't know, but for what they did great. And I think they got me invested into the storyline. I give Ricochet credit because he kind of found his character and he found his niche. His promos hasn't been bad. His promos been delivering for what he needs to deliver to. I would have had more of a swerve with that, but then again, I'm happy Swerve won because if anyone's gonna take the belt off Moxley, please God, someone take the belt off Moxley, it'll be Swerve.
Hmm.
He's your perfect baby face, even though like he doesn't have that whole baby face vibe. He's that anti-hero. He's like the Punisher kind of shit. I see him and his craziness matching Moxley's craziness. So I want to see that match. I want him to take that belt. So I'm gonna go forward with this match, but again, I enjoyed the build up of the storyline. I'm happy that it went more in depth. I'm happy that Ricochet kind of found his niche, because again, everyone's bullshitting on him like that. But I was like, yeah, you gotta admit, like he's actually getting better. He's playing a character. He knows where he wants to go with it. Let him cook and let him get better at it. And then I think Ricochet's getting there. So I won't see I see a belt on him very soon. Not now, but very soon. This match I forgot about. AEW Continental Championship match: Brody King versus Okada.
This was one I didn't expect it to be anything special, and it turned out to be a slugfest in a good way.
Yeah,
Don't doubt Brody King, man. He's good. We know Okada's good, but Brody King is very, very good in that ring.
yeah,
I think this was a solid, and again, just because of his stature, you could almost say it was just like a big man match because Brody was big, but Okada's he kind of forget that dude is like 6'4", and he's a solid piece of wood. You know what I'm saying? He's like a less jacked Randy in
yeah,
terms of his stature.
yeah.
Um, so I thought it was really good. I thought the lead up to getting the clothesline because again the only problem with most of this card is that I say 75% of the matches were predictable on
Yeah.
who's gonna win.
I will say I matched the card 100%. I wrote the
So it's
card
just
up
like
to Josh, and it was 100%.
it's like let them take me on the journey to get there. I know where it's gonna end at because I wasn't expecting surprises for championships.
Yeah,
Um, but I think this one was very very good.
yeah.
Probably the most underrated match on the show. So I'm gonna give it a 3.75. With the asterisk, I'm gonna give it a 4 because I just like it surprised me.
I'm gonna go 375 just because this is probably my least memorable match besides the main event. I just don't remember it. I was like, oh, okay, this match happened. So I wasn't 100% invested in it. And again, the whole prediction thing. Like I wrote the card out to Minion, and he could tell you voucher. I hit every single match on the card, just because I could see where WWE is going. I wish it was not like that. I want to be wrong. I want you to surprise me with certain wins and certain loses because again, how you give momentum to people, you kind of could predict your big card. Um, I wouldn't pass Brody King winning. I would have liked the surprise of him actually capturing a singles title. Just to that Alexa Black and Malachi leaving and things like that kind of got them in a void. I wouldn't mind some motivation for him to getting a title and him being that big, dominant, fucking big, scary looking dude. So I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't have mind if Okada lost, and he actually took the title. It didn't have to be a long run, and that's the thing. Dude, I feel like we don't need long runs all the time. I feel like short runs are fine as well, as long as you have a good storyline and it to go back and forth to. But I felt like again, it was too predictable to the fact that Okada was gonna win. I feel like Okada is very similar to Monet. You kind of just know she's gonna win, and you gotta wait until that big build up and for him to lose. And I don't think no one's there just yet. So, next match, I was disappointed with this one. Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners.
Speaking of predictable,
Yeah.
my guys, my guys, the Outrunners did not win the match, but you didn't expect them to win the match anyway. I thought it was at least a good showcase for these guys. They got to do what they do, and then they also got destroyed by the Hurt Business, which is kind of the Hurt Syndicate, excuse me, which is kind of what you want. I mean, listen, you can't just have them out there going soft on them just because these guys are likable. So
No, that's true.
uh, I I'm kind of two minds about it because it was really like giving giving hope to the guys
Yeah.
because the way the way the beatdown went and how long the match was,
Yeah.
and then the comeback where they got to do stuff and then they pissed the MVP off and all that. So like personally, if there was one match where it would have served to be like shorter and more dominant on one side, I think this might have been the match. So I'm gonna give it a 3-5, but I'm just gonna say I would have liked it more if the Hurt Syndicate like would have just dominated them, and that would have been it. Cause they need that. They kind of just need that. Like the way Shelton came in and was just destroying people, and now they're just having regular matches. And it's like, oh, this is disappointing.
Yeah.
We're going backwards again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um, I honestly, I think this was another match that you could easily like surprise people and having Outrunners like win by the coattails. And again, they don't have to have it long. They don't have to have a long run and things like that. But you can surprise that crowd because honestly, going into this match, Hurt Syndicate was winning. Like I knew that for a fact. The fact that you try to build Brian Cage and Lance Archer too, like what threats do they have after that?
true. This
Nobody,
is
because they brought the guns back and they lost. What else they have? You're gonna have the Young Bucks come back. See, I'm not gonna believe the Bucks like doing their offense all the time on Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley should run right through them then.
this is true.
So like again, like it goes into a point that it becomes just predictable and just takes away from the match. Like I want to enjoy what I'm seeing, but I'm like, yeah, it's gonna go Hurt Business because like again, they just got the titles. You haven't developed any other tag team titles, any other tag team to be in that their caliber. Outrunners are popular, but they're not haven't been built into that caliber. They barely won the match to get into that match. So that was my only thing. Other than that, it was okay. It was nothing special to me, so I'm gonna go 3. I wanted a surprise win somewhere. Next match. This was my favorite match of the night. I think this has been my favorite storyline period of AEW going on. AEW World Women's Champion should have been the main event of this card because the way it ended was the end. You would have had a perfect ending with that pay per view if you would have had this last. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mariah May.
Hmm. Uh, I'm just gonna say it's a five.
This
I think it was they set it up to be the perfect ending to the feud, and so the two women put on the best show I think of the night. Without They went crazy and they went excessive, but it stayed within the realm of everything that had to do with the match. So nothing felt like out of place. So it was like, why is this here? Why are they doing that? Like even with the glass with the bottles,
yeah.
it was like they always had the champagne there. Like that was the thing.
Yeah,
They always,
everything was part of their set.
like the Hollywood sign on the table. Like it made sense. The Luther being back, it made sense. Like all this stuff just being there, 99% of it made sense. And I love how because the match was a few words false count anywhere because it built up to that. It also made sense for it to end on the stage,
Yeah.
on the sign, and have the be in play, on the jumbotron. But it's not their fault, so I don't take any points away from it. But damn it, if it shouldn't have been, like you said, the last match to send everybody home.
It just made sense the way that you had it end, saying the end. That would have been the perfect end for a pay per view. It's like the end. And the fact that you still recall things from the storyline. This is the best and probably well thought out storyline in AEW. So it shows that there can be storylines that you can invest in. This is one of the biggest ones, and honestly, if like by the end of the year, I think I'm gonna still be talking about this match and this rivalry because this is probably the best rivalry they had all year this year,
Th-
and probably half of last year too.
There's
Um,
one weird thing that I found out. I'm not exactly sure exactly how far it goes, but apparently, the person that they worked with was RJ.
yeah,
Like to I guess to get down the story for the match and whatnot. I'm like, if that's true, that's ridiculous.
then give him more fucking storylines to do. If
Like,
RJ
all
is the
right.
one doing that shit, give him more storylines to work with,
So
because
like,
that it was a beautiful match. It did everything it needed to be done,
mhm, mhm.
and it goes also into even it ending with like her laying on the bosom, like it kind of in the beginning of the whole fucking thing, of how she treated Mariah May and stuff like that, and that's how it ended with the blood on the face and stuff like that. This is probably also probably the most brutal women's match I've ever seen in my life. So again, it's gonna be a five. It's gonna be probably the highlight of the pay per view because I also feel like even the Osprey and Fletcher match, as much as crazy shit they did, I feel like the crowd was fucking burnt out by the end of this match. And then it got dead in the end. So, anyway, this is a five. Definitely watch this match. I recommend anyone to watch this match. They watch the build up too, because the build up really makes the match make full sense. So, AEW International Champion Kenny Omega versus Takesha.
And this for me, this was the best traditional match of the show that didn't have any type of outside things. I mean, I will give credit to that disgusting table drop that Takeshita did to Kenny because the smart thing was to attack his midsection the entire match.
Yeah,
And then Don Callis on commentary was awesome. And then I love like how like there was a little opening. And you hear Don go, "Oh, something's happening." He's just a dirtbag. How he tried to get involved with all these matches because he had like two matches in a row of his people.
yeah,
Um, so I think he definitely added to this one. But just shout outs to Takeshita because I think he made the perfect opponent for returning Kenny,
yeah.
and Kenny did his thing. I was actually baffled by his gear though. Who was that masked wrestler on his pants? I
Who?
was trying for my life to find out what
Takesha
was
or
that.
Omega?
No, Omega. He had a little masked
It was
wrestler on
like a
his pants.
boxer anime that's they kind of showed it on Twitter. Like they've been posting what it was supposed to like look like. It was this boxing anime.
Okay, okay. Because I was like, who the
If I
hell is
find it, I'll
that
send
guy?
it to you because I don't know the name of the thing.
It was distracting me.
Yeah,
But also these two guys, the style of the match was you have to kill me to pin me. Kind of funny because that ends up being the tail of the next match. But
yeah.
for a straight up wrestling match. No knives, pipes, bottles, and all that type of stuff. I think this was the best one. This one, for me, I'm gonna give 4 or 5.
I'll go 4-5. I agree with that. I think this was again the best overall match that didn't. I I I like the Swerve and Ricochet a lot too, but I think this one just did a lot more story in the ring. Like again, you're going for the ribs, going for things like that, and going for things that like Kenny Omega was weak about, and then why he was injured about, and stuff like that. And just nice to see Kenny Omega back. So him winning the international championship. Hopefully we see it on TV more, and yeah, we'll go 4-5 as well. The next match is steel cage match: Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher.
This one I wanted to like it more. Uh, I think it suffered from not knowing when to end the match. Because, like you said, when you do something as crazy as a Spanish fly off the top of the cage and it doesn't end the match, it kind of sucks the wind out of me.
Yeah,
Like they went so hard inside, then to end up on the top, then to do something as crazy as that, and then I mean, not for nothing, there was a lot of story involved with this one with Mark Davis, with uh, like we said, Don Callis with the
yeah,
screwdriver on the top, that whole thing. It was a lot of callbacks, and I'm not gonna say anything felt out of place, but for me, sometimes you just gotta know when to end it, and when you put a bullet in the man, you can't just keep fighting for like 5 more minutes.
yeah.
So, so to that point, that's the only thing I would take away from the match. And so instead of giving it like a 4 or 5, give it a 4.25. That's it.
I'll go 4-5 as well. As much as how much shit that has happened in this match, the thing is they threw it off. Like again, you should end it with the things that are uninterrupted, not the finishing move that we all are waiting for. Um, I think that Spanish Fly that shit should have just ended it. Like that's a big fucking move on top of the cage. Like you could have just ended it there and been perfectly fine. The crowd still would have loved the match, and I think I would have loved the match more if it would have ended there.
Hmm.
Um, kudos, they worked hard. They built, they fucked each other up and stuff like that. But again, it was not storytelling like Tony Storm and Mariah May. It was not like again they gave us a year and a half of story going into that match and going into like that. And I see Kyle Fletcher and Osprey. They also have a big story, but again, you killed him off the fucking top. That's all you needed to do, and I leave it like that. So yeah, 4-5 is me. And then our main event, I think it's one of the more forgotten matches besides the Okada and Brody King. AEW World Champion Cope versus AEW World Championship match: John Moxley versus the Cope.
Like
Um,
I said, I think this match should have been before the cage match, and Tony should have main evented. But also, my personal opinion, I didn't need this match, and I didn't need the Okada match, and I think the card would have been better for it.
yeah,
Just saying.
I
Like, oh,
agree.
how do you not have the world championship? Well, you know what? The world championship story has been ass.
He did have a World Championship. Yeah, the Tony Starr's belt.
Right? This is true. This is true. But I'm just like, yeah, the story has been ass. And then the coolest part of this match, the best part, where Christian basically has the edge moment
Yeah,
from the John Cena match,
yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
And I was like, that was cool. I was happy to see him, and they blew Christian's potentially ending this dragging Moxley thing. And when that happened, I was like, I'm not invested in this anymore. I will not watch another match involving John Moxley with this stuff. I'm done. I'm done.
I felt like Cope.
This match, I'm giving no higher than a 3. I'm
Um,
done.
I'm going 2-5. I say what's fucked up. My highest part of this match was the meteor that fucking Swerve did to Moxley at the end after the match.
I stopped watching. I didn't even see. I saw like clips and highlights that Swerve came out.
Yeah, because that's the person I wanted to take the belt, and I'm gonna be invested to see Swerve take the belt. But right now, like I'm again, this whole Death Rider thing, I liked the storyline when it became the what was the team we called before the Bloodpool Combat Club or whatever it's called.
Oh,
That
Blackpool, yeah,
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 I
Blackpool.
liked it that you actually had a mentality, you actually had a story, but then you also had a crazy ass Daniel Bryan fucking killing people until you made him babyface. Um, that didn't have it here. And then you did some shocking things, but you haven't done anything else beyond that. Did a paper bag over fucking plastic bag over Dan Bryan's head and things like that. But this story's just been dragging and dragging and dragging and dragging, and half the time that you have promos and stuff, I think it's a fucking truck commercial. I don't even think it's a wrestling thing. So I think it's like a Dodge Ram commercial. I'm having issues with Cope as well because I think, yeah, I understand the nostalgia factor and them fighting, but this man was on the floor like half this match.
Yeah,
There was like not one time that when I looked, he was not on the floor, and it just was not good. And again, you had such a big storyline with Tony Storm and Mariah May. It's a damn shame that did not main event this show. That match would have closed the show out and everybody would be like, "That was the greatest pay per view ending I ever fucking seen." But no, you went with this bullshit, and Swerve had to come back to get the crowd to pop after the pay per view. Yeah, I'm gonna go too. Like I was not happy with this match. I tried to get into it. I had to rewatch it 3 times because I kept fucking going doing something else. And every time I was doing something else, he was still on the floor. So it annoyed the shit out of me with that. The whole Christian thing cashing in, I completely forgot that he had that. But then I realized he had it, and then I was like, watch him lose it. And then what happened? He lost. And the whole shit is, I'm texting Minion with the whole shit, and I was like, watch him lose it. And he was like, really? I think you think he's gonna lose it? Yeah, he ain't gonna win it. I was like, right, because they still fucking somehow invested in John Moxley's in this storyline. But that's the end. Hopefully Swerve ends it. So, overall pay per view.
I guess B minus.
Yeah,
I
it'll
would
be
say
around there.
for me, B minus.
Yeah, I'll highlight matches of the night. Swerve and Ricochet, I thought was a solid match. Mariah May and Tony Storm is a must-see women's match. Anyone, any fan, must-see women's match. That match was amazing. It must be wrestling match. Period. Like you watch the whole story build from last year to now, and it was just a work of art. And kudos to Tony Storm and Mariah May for killing it because they fucking killed it.
You could probably sell that story as a on a DVD or Blu-ray
I'll get
of
it.
like 2 hours,
Yeah,
and then put like behind the scenes stuff or other supplemental stuff because like everything they did was pretty much on camera, and then all the interviews. And I mean, damn, even that last interview with Renee, like, he was like, Renee was like tired of Mariah's
yeah,
shit. She was like, "Come on, man, come on, what you doing?
yeah.
You spilling that like."
That was good.
So
That was the best thing on that card. All right. Podcasts we listened to. I did listen to a bunch. I know CCB had to this week. It actually had Scott Steiner on.
yeah,
Very good
that's the only one I
conversation.
listened to. I heard that. That was
You had
very
AJ
very good.
Styles and Will Ospreay last week, which was both really good conversations as well. And Lex Luger was on the week before. So a lot of those good conversations. Lex Luger also got inducted to the Hall of Fame, so he's going in. Um,
Congratulations.
he's trying to get Sting and DDP to present him.
Oh, good, good. I hope Sting keeps the goatee with the face paint.
Right. What else? I did listen to the Busted Open after AEW. I also listened to and they all agreed with the whole Mariah May should have been the fucking and the the main event. Um, and I think they had someone on. I think forgot who they had, but they had Stephanie Barker. She was on. That was a good conversation.
Gotcha. Okay.
And last but not least, we had the wrestling retrospect. And who's your pick?
You know what? We've been picking people that we've been expecting to see hidden gems and great matches. No more of that. I'm picking the Great Khali.
Oh God. I could easily say there's no great matches.
Well, now let's just let's just see what happens.
Okay, great Khali is it? Good luck. All right, me. This is the Wrestling Babble podcast. Thank you for listening. Follow us on all social medias. We have Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitch, TikTok, or Mark the Mic. Also follow Red Cycling Inc.
Make sure you follow us anywhere, everywhere. Recycle Inc. That is Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify,
Yep.
SoundCloud, and we got a WordPress. So check it out.
Oh, also check out our spot. When you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars. It helps a lot.
Do do it.
Do it. You can actually comment and also review on our on Spotify. So definitely give us some love and help us build this cast. We enjoyed this, so keep doing. All right. Peace out. Later. And always remember follow the Jinkies.